Welcome to the after party, ladies and gents.
That's it.
That's it.
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
I can't. What else do we usually say?
I don't know.
That's like after party number 5, where we talk about episodes, what?
Oh,
13,
right.
12,
13, 14, 15.
13, 14, and 15.
We're in our teens. We got a bunch of
right.
pimples.
You can't tell me what to do.
Hair's growing all over the place, and we don't even know what kind of... Anyway.
Tell me more, Elena.
Leave it to me to take it there.
You're just getting to the good part.
Yeah.
Yep, just discovered masturbation.
It is an after party.
Well, so we start in session 13. You guys have putting your faith and trust and lives in the hands of these little sewer halflings, as we had grown to affectionately call them.
Have a choice in that.
You could you could have not went with them.
It was either go with them or
There
die, I think.
Would have been a fight, yeah.
Actually, I think we killed just about everything.
Yeah, but we
Except
already
the
rested a
Darklings.
bit.
No, I mean, at the beginning, we had just killed everything.
One
including Hank Applebee's
one
and-
scout had gotten away in episode 12, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think we're in any danger.
Yeah, thanks to Falzarin,
Basically...
Hank was
Oh my gosh.
just obliterated.
All right, that was session 12. We're past that now.
I feel like we need to revisit it a little bit.
Falzarin actually finally did something, so he's gonna, revel in it for a while.
It'll be brought up on the next 6 after parties.
He talks about doing stuff all the time, so we shouldn't sell him short.
Talks about it.
My one of my favorite lines is like, you go up to Gozer and then you're like, after she hits you, you're like, that puts me down.
Yeah.
That was just a backhanded smack.
Yeah, that was nothing. That was a love tap.
Well, and actually that part it was funny, yes, but that whole exchange between the players was, I think, important. Because I believe last after party we had commented on how Elena, Elena was angry about how that session 12 kind of went down with Hank and all that stuff, and I think we alluded to Elena and Bill. You guys had a conversation afterwards, kind of about your frustrations, and then I remember I had actually messaged the two of you because it was pretty clear that everyone was kind of upset a little bit.
Yeah.
And just reaffirming, okay, don't let Gozer, as Gozer character, don't let Gozer get away without reacting to that kind of stuff, right? As of course,
you definitely
your
did,
characters.
and that's when I decided, okay, as soon as I wake up, I'm gonna go swing.
Yeah,
at her.
and that was great. It was awesome.
Because I think in character it makes sense. I missed, but still.
Yeah, probably a good thing though that you
She
both
missed
missed
back
each other.
though. Yeah.
I think Falzarin doesn't care near as much as Bryn, for good reason, right? I don't have a big vested interest in whether Gozer walks up and picks a fight with some random guy. But at that point, I was mostly just Falzarin was annoyed that everyone's turning on each other and starting a big ruckus when we almost just died. Well, some of us didn't. Someone was being dragged. Shaft had been knocked out.
Yeah, I'm not responsible for any of it.
Yeah. Didn't you took a swing at Gozer after you'd woken up?
Well, she left you to die, but it's
that.
not like your character.
Yeah, you were trying to
knows.
light your lantern, and Gozer stopped you, and then
No, that's. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
there was a lot of
Well, you guys are
inter-party
always
fighting.
Gozer puts her foot out to trip Shaft and that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
always going on.
Yeah, I think those Darklings were wondering if they had gotten in over their head with you you 4 mooks.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
whether Bryn was lying when she said she could have saved us all the trouble in the fight and stuff, I don't know. I think that she likes to think she could have talked her way out of it and just given up Prince Charmington, and maybe he would have left her alone. But I mean, Krug of Crag's head on the ground, it's probably not the case.
You didn't have Prince Charming to give up, though.
No, but I would have told him the name
Oh, I see.
of who has the amulet.
He pretty much already knew that, though, so...
Right, and I didn't know that, but, like, that's what I would have done in the moment. If we got to a talking, like, role play, I would have told him that Prince Charmington had it, because I don't really care about that guy.
I'm fairly certain we would have fought one way or the other, whether you had talked for a little bit first or not.
Yeah.
I think Hank's probably not the most forgiving of people.
Yeah.
He had a head in his bag, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Coming to talk.
I was mad at Gozer for picking the whole fight, and sort of in a way, I guess I didn't know the second I woke up who killed him, but I was like mad that I just didn't get my revenge. Personally. Or Bryn was. Because you know how we worked that whole revenge speech back into the memory?
Right. Yeah. So we started down in the tunnel, right? And that's where we had the little interchange. And then I couldn't see anything and we wanted to keep everything dark. We traveled a long little way, and then there was a lot of artwork down there that we never really, we sort of talked about it briefly, I guess, but has anybody got any thoughts on all of the stolen artwork and everything down there? Is it any relevance?
That's one thing that, listening back, stuck out to me, which I wanted to compliment Leland on. I thought it was really cool, this entire, like, not a city per se, but this sort of like community that's living underneath the city that he has built into there. I thought that was really cool, listening back, that my imagination really went with it and was imagining all of these underground rooms they've made and like secret passageways and what was going on that one room we passed where they had one dude, he was laying down on like an altar or something like that, and they're performing some sort of quasi ritual thing over top of them. Like
they're making him into a Night
there.
King.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was lots of really cool. There was some
Saucy.
cool stuff, I think, down there, or at least like tidbits here and there that your imagination could run away with.
Well, yeah, I really wanted to rest down there and like sit and enjoy and like watch some performance. And Leland explains it, but he's like, "No, I've got a wagon. Like, really, okay."
And they were mesmerized by when we had any kind of light onto the paintings, if you remember correctly. It's
Yes, yeah.
Right.
I don't know what to make of that personally.
So I was thinking that since they pretty much spend their entire lives down in the sewers, and every time they come up, it has to be dark, so they don't really get to enjoy the sights above ground. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking that's what these paintings were, is the basic sights above ground.
The world.
So, yeah, the
yeah.
world.
That could be.
Well,
yeah.
light apparently affects them, but when they do see in dark vision is shades of gray, right? So seeing color would be an amazing thing if you're always in the dark.
Yeah.
I would say allegedly stolen. Just it's not let's not criminalize Julvi and his pals here, okay?
Well, they didn't steal them. Hannah gave it to them, didn't she? For doing
I was gonna
work
say the
for
whole
her?
contact of Hannah we didn't really talk about.
That
It
is
was,
kind of
skirted
what they mentioned, yeah.
Yeah. I got the impression that they were kind of given to them as payment from Hannah, this crime lord, Intercall, which is also another interesting layer.
Probably a connection somewhere with Hank, maybe.
Hannah's Isabella Good.
I'm thinking
Everybody isn't Isabella Good.
I was thinking it was more a connection with the orcs, since the Darklings were getting people to sell to the orcs. That Hannah
but
had
like,
some kind of deal with the orcs.
If Hank was hunting down Crag and Prince Charmington, I'm thinking maybe Hank sold him to Hannah or something, and then Hannah sold him to the orcs type thing. Like, once he was done with them.
Yeah, but that doesn't really explain the other people that were in the wagon.
No, for sure. I'm just saying I think maybe if Hank has a connection to anyone, it's maybe Hannah.
And speaking of the orcs, just before I forget, if you recall, they're from different tribes, and they also seem to be under some kind of a spell or charm of some kind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the tribes are, not friendly to each other from what
Not
we
at all.
know of their backstory. Or I guess, I don't know necessarily that Falzarin knows that, but I know that.
But as a listener, yeah.
So, yeah, the fact that they're fighting together for, one goal against us and whatever else they're doing together.
With a vacant stare in their eyes.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. Julie's got them charmed, maybe.
Something to do with that tattoo, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm thinking
the
it's the
tattoos.
Paladins of Colstis are putting that tattoo on them and it's charming them somehow.
Which,
Yeah.
again, a connection to potentially Hank.
But you knocked him out of his charm right before your second hit killed him.
So you're thinking, saying
so-
is that can't be the tattoo then?
Not if because if I remember correctly, Leland said the eyes sort of, the glazed over eyes sort of refocused, and then your second attack took him down. So there was a
Chopped him
brief
in half.
moment. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a sweet hit.
Almost as good as Falzarin's
Oh, God.
Okay.
hit on Hank.
Just stop.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, I really enjoyed session 13 for sure. All that Darkling stuff I thought was really cool. But like that, I mean, I know I talk a lot in the episode, in like every episode, but like I did like 90% of the talking in that episode, and most of it was just like strictly narration. Which I like doing at least.
Yeah, I've got no objection to that. I think,
That's
and I think
fine.
that can be really interesting for listeners too, because you're probably better than any of us at painting a really vibrant picture for the listeners. So, I think there's nothing wrong with that if it happens from time to time.
From time to time. Don't let it go to your head.
Too late.
Time.
Where's that boner alarm?
Oh, my gosh.
Bill's getting Leland hard again.
So the DM screen's for.
Yep.
Okay, so we climbed up out of the tunnels, and then we were put into or got into the back of the wagon, where we were locked in, and Bryn decided to kill Prince Charmington. So you can tell me a little bit more about why you chose to. It wasn't on your assassination list, I assume, right?
No, it wasn't like a hit, but I think I tried to make it clear in roleplay that, like, he technically, when we had our robbery back in that old spire, like the job that I lost my best friend Ciari, he was the one who woke Hank by stealing that amulet. So Hank was snoring, he took the amulet, and then Hank aroused from that. So, like, I blame Prince Charmington for her death, really. Besides myself as well, as Bryn, but, he's a big part of it. Yeah. So, yeah, I was really hoping I could just actually kill him right there. But
I think the lesson learned there was to finish the job, not let him bleed out.
I know. Well,
Yeah, I was
Leland,
surprised you didn't finish him off.
I kind of forgot that was an option. I was like, once you guys all knew, I thought you would maybe try to stop me or something.
Well,
So
they might have. I mean, Shaft might have.
That's the thing. That's why I was trying to do it all in one sneaky blow type thing. And then
Yeah.
you made a comment that you didn't even have like a number of health for him because you didn't think I would kill him. But what did you think Bryn was going to
I
do?
think I might have. Did I say that to you like sometime off mic? It must have been.
I don't remember.
I
that
thought
comment.
it was on mic.
Well, it's definitely wasn't in the episode, and we wouldn't have talked about
okay.
it last AP either.
Okay, but yeah, did you like think I would kill him or what? Why did you put him there?
Actually, putting him there was a bit of a reaction to the way the Hank encounter actually went, because there was some information that you could have gleaned from that, and I thought maybe you might have, and you didn't because of the way it went down. So I'm like, oh well, I'm just gonna put Charmington in the back of the wagon and let's see how that plays out. Maybe we'll get something there too.
Wasn't my fault this time.
Glad we got the information out of Prince Charmington.
So
Yeah, right.
so I mean, originally I hadn't planned to have him in that wagon. It was
So
kind of a last
basically,
minute thing.
we never get the information we're supposed to.
Hey,
ever.
Leland, a good piece of advice: always have the guy have a note in his pocket with all the relevant information
Yeah,
that we
well.
can find when we're looking for loot.
I at least had the in the moment was able to, like, after you Gozer killed Hank and rummaged his body, you're like, yeah, there's a note. I'll get to it later, but there's a note.
And I mean, technically in character, none of us know what that note says.
Yeah, only Gozer read it.
Yeah, and Gozer forgot about it. But I have a question about when Bryn stabbed Charmington with her assassinate skill. Shouldn't it have been a critical hit, or because we weren't in combat, it didn't count?
Well, it would be a critical hit if he was surprised.
I think he was surprised.
Well, I'm just saying Leland didn't officially say he was surprised.
Yeah, no, we did have a conversation
right?
about this in Discord, didn't we?
Yeah.
What did I end up saying?
Well,
I think you said since it wasn't really in a combat situation.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I mentioned. I think those assassinate rules really apply more to combat. So whereas...
Since we hadn't rolled initiative yet?
Yeah, so one, Charmington wasn't surprised, no. And I think Bryn had advantage on the attack anyways, if I recall. I'm not sure.
I did, because he was restrained.
So you did... So yeah, you got your sneak attack anyways, right?
Yes,
yeah, it just wasn't an automatic crit.
Which was exactly. Which was the important thing. Had you crit him, yeah, he would have been toast for sure. Like I would have just killed. Like even though I didn't have a health total for him. So in that instance, I vaguely recall being like kind of just setting almost an arbitrary like difficulty check number, like I do with some skill checks, right? Like, you know, the DMG gives you like I think a DC 15 is like a moderate difficulty check, and like 20 is like hard or whatever. 5 is supposed to be like very easy, and that's the range, right? That's kind of either end of the range. So I think in that moment, I don't know how much damage you actually did. Like I think you did 15 or 16 hit damage to him.
Yeah, I don't remember. I feel like my first hit was like 14 or something.
Yeah, something like that. But you put him very close to death. And again, him actually coming out of the wagon was also kind of an on-the-fly, like I had planned. Because I think session 15 was the first half of one of like a 2-hour play session for us. So 15 and 16 will be one session for us, right? So there was a gap between 14 and 15, and that in that gap of time between us playing, I was able to, why doesn't he come out? That'd be cool. And then, comes out for whatever effect it was a minimal effect on the combat too, which is also why I did it. Because he was so close to death, anything would put him down.
Right.
So, yeah, basically he wasn't surprised, so you didn't get the auto cred. Pretty much, I guess.
Is that something you noticed, Emma, or is that a listener question?
Ian texted me.
I was gonna say that sounds like an Ian question.
Yeah.
Ian knows the rules.
That whole wagon thing was baloney. We felt like we had to rest and we had no choice, and then we get he unlocks it in front of us. So of course he's gonna lock it behind us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Falzarin had nothing to do with any of that decision-making process.
You were unconscious.
Well, yeah, but Gozer only had a few hit points at that point, so it was either
we all
get
did.
in the wagon and see what happens, or go unconscious and possibly die.
And if Shaft and I just woke up, we had 1 hit point, right? So it's
I guess what probably would have happened is if it was a total party kill, they probably would have stabilized us and thrown us in the back of the wagon anyway.
And then we'd wake up
Maybe.
wherever. Yeah.
That,
I just...
100%, that's what probably would happen, yeah.
Then we'd be in probably a lot more trouble, because we'd all be waking up with 1 health point and probably, a bunch
Somewhere
more
else.
dudes.
Yeah.
In that episode at the time, Emily had made a comment about, are you pigeonholing us kind of into getting to this wagon?
Yeah.
And
she said that, yeah.
The last thing that I expected was you guys to end up in the back of that wagon.
What did you think we would do, though? Because we had, no health.
So this is what happened. So I knew Hank was, you guys were going to have the encounter with Hank, regardless of whether or not you ended up fighting him or how well it went, or if you ran from him. I knew that was going to happen. Right. And I had also I believe it was even last after party, how I mentioned where I like to go and find creatures and think of cool scenarios that could use these creatures. And Darklings happened to be one of those future encounters that I have on my list. And I had forever going, I'm like, okay, there's going to be a bunch of Darklings living under Drukal. This is gonna be cool. But like, how the hell would they ever, and why would they ever go into the sewers of Drukal? And I'm like, oh well, maybe they can try to help them, and it snowballed from there. So I had what the Darklings were doing already thought out, and like that's what is happening beneath the city, and this is part of what's the goings on in Drukal. So that scenario was already there, and like that was their mission. So regardless of what condition you were in, they were going to try to lure you into this position. So all of these events had happened before it, and you guys also, none of you were all fine with walking around with 1 hit point after waking up, being knocked out. You didn't down any of your potions. Like a lot of little things could have went differently, which would have put you in a better position in this scenario that the Darklings already knew they were going to put you in.
I think from the character perspective, we didn't have a reason to distrust them until we got into the wagon.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Exactly.
I think we played it pretty... Like, we role-played it pretty well. Because,
so,
we didn't have a reason to distrust them. So, if we did, it would have been, because we thought you had something going on.
Right.
And that's not playing the character.
Absolutely. No, I don't think there was any wrong decisions any of your characters made. I think it made complete sense for you guys to get into the wagon. By the time we got to that point and the condition everyone was in, you would have been kind of dumb not to get into the back of this wagon. Still at least have your faculties about you to be able to escape it possibly, as opposed to, like Bill had said, getting potentially knocked out, thrown in the back, and just taken wherever.
And I think the fact they didn't take our weapons away from us, that's usually when you're getting ready to do something like that, you're going to disarm the people you're trying to capture.
Right.
So they didn't take our weapons away when we got in. And there was a pile of weapons in there with the people that were already...
Yeah, there was a bunch of shit. They weren't interested in taking any of your shit.
Emily's face. Yeah, that was weird.
Why wouldn't they take our weapon? It doesn't make any sense. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to subdue somebody, you don't give them a way to attack.
Well, they didn't chain us up, though.
No. That's what I'm saying. I was looking at it as a free ride for a bunch of people that were, close to death. It wasn't until the doors shut and I realized how it was reinforced.
Well, and then we sat
so
there.
we couldn't get out. And then we sat there for a while.
There was probably stuff edited out, too. I think we were in the wagon trying to figure out what to do for a little while. I don't know.
We were talking about short rest again.
Yeah.
I think I might have, because we ended up basically retconning those 3 hours of what exactly went down in the wagon afterwards anyways.
We discussed okay, what's the order that we're doing this?
Yeah.
It was
which I think is important and didn't really impact any of the sequencing, right? I mean, so basically I was just trying to push things along so Falzarin would actually wake up at that time.
Right.
So I wasn't trying to deny you guys a short rest or healing capabilities or anything like that, or trying to take away any of your abilities to try to escape. I was just trying to get Falzarin awake. Because that whole episode, Falzarin was like, yeah, so I'm just going to reiterate, we're trapped in the back of a wagon. I'm still unconscious. You could give me my health potion.
I know. He was talking a lot for an unconscious man.
Asleep.
And I called him out on it.
I specialize in evocation, and as well, I'm a psychic that can communicate.
Oh yeah, while you're unconscious.
Exactly.
Yeah. Potions of greater healing are expensive too.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
So let me ask the rest of the party then. What would had you given Falzarin his potion after Gozer backhanded him? Falzarin would have been up probably, at the very least 10 hit points. Would that have made a difference on the decision of whether or not to get in the back of that wagon?
I don't think so.
No, because I was at 1.
Gozer was low,
even
too.
Considering Falzarin's track record of devastating Hank Applebee's.
Okay, stop it.
Gozer still believes that Falzarin is just about useless. So, no, she would not trust him to take care of her.
I'm like...
You're just very aloof.
If you were a druid that had a rat companion or something, that's Falzarin. Yeah. Entertaining and fun to pat on the head.
Well, spoilers, but you're in for future sessions, but you're in fear of getting replaced on that front there, buddy.
You talking about theft?
I think even if we were all at full health, we would have still gotten the back. I think the only thing that made us
I
sort
don't
of
think
second
Gozer
guess
would have
it
gotten in at full
was
health.
when Gozer was trying to get up front, and they said
I
no.
really don't think I would have got in if I was full health.
Yeah, I don't think I would have either.
I would have seen the people in chains and turned right around.
And the fact that the door was locked.
Yeah. Shaft would have, I guess.
I think, and obviously I'm not your guys' characters, but I don't think Bryn's especially crafty, right? She's a rogue assassin. I really don't think she'd get into the back of a thing that, if she was able to defend herself, I don't think she'd get into the back of something that was previously locked and had prisoners in it. I don't know
No.
about Shaft or probably not.
I would have
I don't
maybe, I don't know. Bryn for sure wants the people to get away. It was weird with the keys and leaving them just out of reach, and like, I don't know. It was just like
Well, that was a whole different part of it. Yeah, that was
I
a
know.
different thing.
It's
So we broke through, we got out, and then the battle ensued, right?
yeah.
Where we had the exchange of who was standing on top of the hole cover. We had a major discussion outside of the game about how much a bale of hay or straw weighs,
Yeah.
which I don't think we've actually came.
known.
Depends on how long it's been drying.
I'm not sure if this is considered a listener question
Well,
or
It was a
just a
player
listener
question.
comment.
oddly enough, one of our listeners who asked most of the questions had the most accurate information on the weight of a bale of hay.
Well, considering that they have bales of hay regularly.
Exactly.
In their
Once
possession.
again, Ian comes to the rescue with the right answer.
I used to bale hay when I was younger, so I kind of roughly remember how much it weighs.
I used to hang out in the back of the baler when it flung out at me and try to dodge it. One time a snake came out. That was scary.
Yeah, there's occasionally snakes.
So I do have a question from another listener. Since we're at that point, really talking about the point where Bryn tried to jump up into the rafters.
Right.
So the question comes from Mike Caldwell. He says, Leland and John have explained how to calculate distance for high jump a few sessions now, but I think one thing is missed that could eventually be useful to Bryn. No one covered reach, which is covered in the last paragraph
Yes.
of high jump in the player's handbook. Someone that does a jump can actually reach higher up to their height of their jump, which reach is calculated by your jump distance plus 1.5 times your height. Bryn could have used this jump to pull herself onto something such as the city wall or the rafters in the small barn.
Yeah.
So, what's everybody think?
I currently have redone my player sheet, especially concerning the jump spell with the ring of jumping. And there was a website that I found that was really helpful. And anyway, it took my height and it took the spell and I have all my calculations correct now. So Leland cannot tell me no. I know exactly how high I can jump because this happens again. It'll be in episode
Session
16 or 17.
So
spoilers.
Session 16, we really fuck it up.
Yeah.
And I was actually going to try to cut it out, but it was not in a good spot to just cut it out.
But this time I didn't cast jump. Yeah.
Well, okay, one, the Raptors are 30. I said they were 30 feet high. There's no way she's jumping up. Even with the jump spell, she's not jumping 30 feet high. So we actually didn't screw it up this time. But basically, our line of thinking was still screwing it up. So yeah, we completely screwed that up. And have since been like, oh, great. That spurred another Discord conversation about this stupid fucking jump spell. But yes, that is very important.
Because
so, I mean, Bryn can jump and grab onto something 15 feet high.
With my ring of jumping and the jump spell, if I have a 10-foot movement, like a running start type thing, I can reach and grab 16 feet off the ground.
Right. Which is really awesome.
I can just,
That's a
with
crazy
a running
vertical.
start, I can jump 9 feet off the ground, just feet only, and then I can jump 33 feet horizontally, which is crazy. So I have it all figured out.
Wow, 33 feet. Hell, you could jump over a small river.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been nice to know.
Well,
I'm just saying.
that
I'm
would-
not-
small river we crossed, he
Not
said, was
a
50
medium-sized
feet.
river, though.
Yeah, not a medium-sized river.
No, that would be ridiculous.
Future sessions.
But hey, I just
there's-
gave you jumping on that bale of hay or the hay
that's
pile.
fine.
God, I had trouble saying hay
Hay
bale
bale.
too in that episode.
Say that 10 times fast.
No.
So one of my favorite parts was when Bren was on the manhole cover and we had the switcheroo, right? No, I guess Falzarin was on and Bren went over to help.
Yep.
And then Falzarin immediately got off. Now, I'll have to say Falzarin did the right thing. It was going to fall, right? It was cracking.
Yes, Falzarin
And he had to-
100%
had
did
to
the
get
right
off.
thing.
Yeah. I mean, but
Vindication.
Bren seemed to be pretty upset about the fact that you traded
wait.
spots.
I wasn't.
You asked me to
I mean-
help, and then you ran
No,
away.
I didn't. Did I ask her?
Yes, you did. And then later you helped me, and I'm like, now you
I
help
think
me?
what happened, what Falzarin was thinking, in the time is that, maybe it would help to have two of us on there to prevent them from pushing it up or something like that. But then once she got on, and I think Leland, you
It was cracking.
explained that explained what was happening and saw that it was starting to sag more. I clued in. Oh crap! They're not going to push it up. They're going to break it, and it's going to fall in. It's going to splinter. So then I realized, okay, two of us on this is not helping. So I got off,
Well, anyway.
which conveniently allowed me to throw spells at people.
Yeah, I think you hopped off and roasted Julvi.
Well,
I mean, I don't want to say that Falzarin's getting all the kills, but I certainly have killed Hank
earlier
and
you,
Julvi.
you threatened Gozer with Fireball, which you don't even know.
She doesn't know that.
So I think this fight actually turned out pretty good. Again, it was like almost 2 full sessions of fighting. I guess though really closer to 1.5, I think, if you kind of put the whole time frame together. But I thought it was a really good fight. And it was a very difficult fight. Or it was supposed to anyways. But you guys all, like, every single saving throw you guys made. Like, Shaft, like, sloughed off, like, 3 different saving throws that would have, like, mind controlled him or something. Like,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So Gozer did build up a tolerance to that poison.
that could have went way different. No, that's not how it works.
I was a little disappointed in my use of inspiration.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I
ahead.
didn't even know you could use inspiration like that.
Yeah, but it got me
Why?
one point.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
I
It's
just
like it,
One.
like you think there's like a clause. There should be a clause that.
No, I just always thought you rolled, and then if you don't like your roll, you use your inspiration to roll again. You don't get like a preemptive advantage. I never knew that. Never played like that before.
Oh, okay. I guess I understand that, but that's literally the exact same thing.
It is the same thing.
It's the exact
just
same
not
thing.
rolling
You're
it
still
at the same time.
rolling 2d20s and.
Right.
Or you? Oh, sorry. But what you mean is the second result replaces the first one. Is that what
Yes.
you mean, Emily?
Yes.
Oh, I get it. No, by 5e rules is written. I think it just like straight. It just says gives you advantage. I think, which is why it triggers the sneak attack with the rogue ability.
Yes.
I think strictly just because of the wording. But that's interesting though. I almost like that better actually.
No. Wait. No. Forget I said anything.
Well, speaking of, I think it was session 15 where we introduced some of those house rule variants that we're now playing with.
Yeah, we got to listen to your voice for like 20 minutes. I had to listen at 2 times the speed. My gosh. All right, no one's saying anything to that. Sorry.
Hey, I want some magic items, okay?
Come on, I
I'm
wanna rip on
sucking
Leland.
up to Leland as much as possible.
All right, that's true. Touche.
Yeah, so you were saying, Leland, you introduced Cleave, and what was the other thing you...
Multiple inspirations.
Oh, right, yes, the 5...
And
Party
you guys
inspiration.
reward yourselves inspiration now.
Yes, I really like that idea.
And the
Yeah,
DM.
it's a great idea we haven't used.
Yeah, we've yet to
Right.
actually take advantage of it.
That's
but-
true. Well, I forgot about
mean-
it till we brought it back up.
Well, quite
Falzarin
frankly, this
killed
time
Julvi.
it's not on me. That's on you.
Right.
I forgot about it because I didn't write it down, but Falzarin apparently did. Give me that inspiration, bro.
Yeah, I made 5 little tick boxes on my sheet to keep track of inspiration I can hand out.
And before we talked about it again, did you remember why you made the 5 little tick boxes on your sheet?
On the
His
fifth, after I
face.
give out 5, then the DM gets inspiration. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Right.
we don't want to happen.
No.
so.
Yeah, but she's saying, did you actually remember you had them? Like, while we've been playing every time since?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What? And you didn't give us
I
any
keep
inspiration?
killing all the bad guy leaders,
Oh.
so why am I going to give it inspiration to you guys?
So I was thinking, like, I never mentioned that I have veto power, and whether or not one of your instances of inspiration was ridiculous.
Oh,
So I
interesting.
didn't mention that. I will probably reserve the right, the veto powers. But on one hand,
Can you
though,
give yourself inspiration?
on one hand, no, I wouldn't do that unless you're in that 5 that I get it. But on one hand, like, I want you to use those free 5 so I get it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
like a double-edged sword. So
Yeah.
you
I
can
know.
throw around the first 5 like all willy-nilly, but then the next 5 is a little more risky.
Yeah.
Did you get what I meant, though? Like, could Bryn give her... Could I give Bryn
Oh, I'm
inspiration?
sorry. I don't think so. I think that's a little... It's not quite above
I'm
board
gonna
there,
say
Bryn.
no.
Just
That's not
thinking
as fun.
outside the box.
You could probably suggest it and therefore remind the rest of us that that's something we can do.
Yeah.
You could
That's
say
true.
the rest of the party's feeling very inspired after Bryn just did that
I
thing.
feel like Bill might have needed some inspiration a couple,
I don't.
more
I don't
recent
need your
sessions.
inspiration.
For what? Oh, more recent and more... Okay.
Yeah, when he decided to walk somewhere by himself.
Well,
It's
I
gonna
will
be-
say, you
it's gonna
guys,
be a
you
good
guys
episode.
frequently keep mentioning how Falzern is casting spells and killing people. That's not worthy of inspiration. That's what
Right,
an
I was just
adventurer
gonna
that
say.
throws magic does. Like that. So just FYI, Falzern will never get inspiration for using a spell that kills somebody.
Yeah, inspiration's supposed to be to promote role playing,
Yes,
Good role playing.
That's exactly right.
and it does say in the book that it gives you advantage.
It does say it
normally.
does. Yeah, strictly say advantage.
Well, in the instance I was talking of, Bill was role-playing Falzern pretty well.
Yeah, actually, no. I think those later sessions, you could probably make a case for that.
I think it's just something we need to keep in mind, along with cleave. Right? I mean, that's something I think we've used.
We've used
Few times
Cleve quite a bit,
after.
yeah.
John, I'm sure you've used Cleve quite sometimes.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
So actually, and we've actually misused Cleave a couple times since. We had to just remember that you can only cleave somebody that's adjacent to you. I think a couple times
Are we talking like motorboat or what?
we've cleaved into somebody like 10 feet away. So
I don't know what motorboat means in Canada, but here in the U.S., I don't think it has anything to do with
A motorboat
kind of
is,
attack.
is a
You can only
motorboat's-
cleave someone adjacent to you. I'm just
A motorboat's a big, long wooden boat that fits like 1 to 3 people, and you use a paddle on either side. It's sometimes made of birch bark.
That's a motorboat?
I'm describing a canoe.
In Canada? Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. Our motorboats sound like, but they don't,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
they don't go in the water.
That's what I was talking about, John. Now I stopped the whole conversation just for my one dumb joke. I'm
Yeah, what
sorry.
were
All
we
right.
talking about?
what else is new?
So
Cleave. Cleave.
Yeah.
I can't think of an
I-
instance where we messed up Cleve. What is there one you have in mind, Leland?
Yeah, there was a later session, but it was.
Oh, it's later on.
But again, it's not that big a deal, really, because that was actually one of the times we were not on roll 20, and it was all up in the air kind of thing. But
I see.
again, it really doesn't matter.
I am looking forward to hurling some inanimate objects and potentially doing some Cleve.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
yeah, I think you set the ground rules by saying you would give Bryn the ability to have an arrow go through
Yeah.
one target and go
That would
into
be
another,
friggin'
Yeah.
If they were
sweet.
lined
Absolutely.
up appropriately.
which
Oh,
when
yeah.
Shaft can use his rapier to go through.
Yeah.
too,
Oh, yeah.
as-
Absolutely.
Rather than what we were talking about before, or in a later episode about
slash.
Yeah.
slicing.
Yeah. But your rapier's stab would still have to be against 2 people adjacent.
Adjacent.
To you. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
my arrow would have to go through, like, what body part would an arrow actually go all the way through?
Any of them.
I would think the two
Really?
of you would be the best
Going
to
faster.
answer
I'm not a
that.
bow hunter, but like a whole arrow can go through a whole like torso of a body.
I think it's
Sure.
Through someone's throat.
I
Well,
like
yeah,
the idea
throat.
of managing the battlefield and strategic or tactical positioning and that sort of thing. So I think it's going to be cool for Bryn and possibly me to Falzer into, try and get in positions where we might be able to take advantage of that.
Wait, who are you again?
I'm Falzer. I'm a magic user.
Which is where Roll20 will come in handy, as long as we describe that, you have
We're
half
lining it
cover,
up.
three-quarter cover, and full cover, right? I mean, those give a disadvantage and make it harder to be hit. And you can also drop to the ground, right? And fall behind something and have cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think a lot of people do that, and at least in my experience in D&D, to use that, because it's more of a wargaming type of feel than theater of the mind. But
Yeah, like Bryn could have been ducking in and out of behind that wagon with her bow, right? And because you can move, attack, and then continue
I
your
can always
movement as long as you still have
dash.
movement spaces,
Yeah.
right?
and that
Yeah.
was the reason Shaft jumped back into the back of the wagon and did I always say hold your action, readied my
Ready,
action,
yeah.
because I didn't want to be hit in the time period between. I figured that Gozer would be coming back my way, and then I would get an attack on whatever it was that we were fighting at the time.
Yeah.
Your use of readied action made me like remember and realize that I could do readied action. Like I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
done it even
Yeah, I didn't
to
realize,
current playtime.
Now, I will say, ready in action to me is still not a good way to do it. You're actually, in my case, I'm losing an action in the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Because-
You're literally trading your action and using your reaction. Like, yeah, you
Right.
do come out on the losing. You're losing on the deal. You come out,
Yeah. To me, I would think it would be better if you had disadvantage maybe on one of those attacks or something like that. It seems like a bad... something you wouldn't really need to do. What you're doing is you're rolling initiative. You're getting a very good initiative, and then you're being punished for it because you don't I don't know what Gozer's going to do, and I don't want to attack the guy first, so I want to wait and see what kind of hell you guys are going to get me in. So if I ready my action and you do something that gets us in trouble, now I've lost an action. But if
True.
and I'm getting punished because I was high in initiative. So I don't really think that's a fair
Bad Shaft.
give and take. No, I'm the good one. You're the one that gets us in trouble.
Yeah.
I think I do agree with you there for sure. Yeah, it is a weird, punishment, it seems. But I mean, I think generally, like you're rolling initiative, like you're fighting. Like what?
Right.
What else are you gonna do? Are you gonna see if everybody runs away? Like, but I do totally get where you're coming from, and you're right. It is kind of a weird use. I think I think its intention is like using it like how we did with the wagon, pushing that wagon over the hatch, kind of
Right.
thing. And
Oh, yeah.
and more like well, I mean, one of the example in the player's handbook it gives you is like if you're waiting for somebody to step on or get to a certain spot before you're like throwing a lever that activates a trap or whatever, closes the gate maybe or something like that, right?
Right. But those are not combat actions. I would say.
They absolutely could be. They're 100% they could be. Again,
mean,
they're not
I
combat.
guess-
They're not like
Weapon
strictly
attacks.
combat actions. Yeah, you're right. But if you guys are fending, say you're fending a wall and a gate, right? And then, a higher Bryn with a 23 initiative is able to back up to the inside of the gate while firing arrows or get into the gate to where she wants to pull it and close it, but still needs to wait for you guys to get inside. She just says, okay, when everyone's in, I'm closing this gate. Like that kind of thing, right? I think that's the intention.
Yeah.
I think that's the intention for that ready in action.
Yeah, I think the rules are fine. I think you just have to weigh that you're going to lose you potentially could lose an action if you have more than one action on.
Well, and actually something we didn't say with Falsey, when you ready that spell, if you don't end up meeting the prerequisite that you've set to cast that spell, you lose that spell.
Ooh.
Oh, so I lose a spell slot even though I didn't cast it.
I believe that I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So it is
I
very,
think so too.
Yeah, it's very risky.
And if he gets attacked while holding the spell, he would have to make a concentration
Check. Yeah,
that works.
that's right. To maintain, because it is you are concentrating on holding that spell. That's what it's considered as.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That'll make me really, think hard about ever using that in the future. Because that's a costly.
Could be.
My spell slots are, I don't have a lot of them.
You need to do a better job of keeping track of your spell slots, because I know you use more than you had available. After that Hank fight, you did not have nearly as many slots available as we used when we played, because, of course, that next session we played, we hadn't listened back to what we had, the previous one, right, which was the Hank fight. So, and also
at that accusation.
In session 15 at the very end, you guys start the long rest. Like, Bryn, you for sure have used hit dice. There's no way you had all three of your hit dice. So, like, that's things we need to keep better track of, because
I keep better track of it now. I
yes,
don't know.
absolutely. Again, it's not really that big of a deal. I don't really. How the hell can I penalize for you guys for that when you have 0 healing? Like, I should almost legitimately just be like, you know what, you get all your hit dice every long rest and just not even worry about it.
I'm good with that.
And spell slots are a kind of a guideline suggestion.
No, not quite.
I have a bit of a mechanics question myself. I know I took a lot of airtime discussing short rests and long rests in these 3 episodes. But I have a question about when you're in combat. One thing I've never taken advantage of is disengage. And, this hasn't happened yet, but as the type of wizard that I'm playing, I really don't want to be up close and personal with bad guys, basically. Because I have a lot of ranged spells, so that puts me at disadvantage if I'm casting a ranged spell. And
Super
and I'm easy to hit, and I don't have a lot of HP. So can we kind of just go over what exactly disengage does and how that benefits us, or would benefit someone?
Well, you in particular. Okay, let's go back to the Hank fight again that you so love to bring up the end of. When the two scouts rushed you out of your fog cloud and came up to you with their swords drawn, if you wanted to back away from them without getting hit, then you would have to use your action to disengage, which means you can leave an adjacent square with an enemy without them getting an attack of opportunity on you.
But a good thing to keep in mind is their movement is probably the same as your movement. So if you only move 30 feet, they're going to move 30 feet up and hit you.
Right.
So your best bet is to dash.
Disengage
but
would
you
be
can't,
his action.
That's right.
Yeah, so the trouble becomes then, so if I disengage, I've only got my 30 feet of movement, which they very well may have. And if I choose to not disengage, then I can then choose to dash, which will double my movement and hopefully get me, but then they get an opportunity attack. So either way, there's a good possibility I'm going to get attacked, because if I disengage and move 30 feet, they may move 30 feet and attack. If I dash 60 feet, they get an opportunity attack, and they might be able to dash right up to me again, so I'm in the same position next turn. Anyway,
it's difficult. Also, though, keep in mind, to take an attack of opportunity, you have to have a reaction available, because you spend your reaction to take that attack of opportunity, and everybody only gets 1 reaction per round. So, like, this may come up if you are fighting, like, as opposed to a higher number of enemies, like we actually generally have been. If you were fighting like one big dude, if somebody else triggers its reaction, you would be fine potentially, unless they have some ability to walk away from them, because they've already spent their reaction for that round.
I see.
So keep that in mind too. And that's the same thing for you guys. Like, when you, again, back to the readying an action, for you to use that readied action, it costs your reaction. meaning you don't get to do anything else that costs a reaction until the beginning of your next turn, until your next turn comes around. So keep that in mind too with as far as reactions go.
I don't super know that I've ever used reaction. I know Bill has like reaction spells, but like, what are your options for reaction? Saying, "Oh crap, that hurt."
Outside of class specific things and like feats that give you reactions, it's to take an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
So I have a question. Elena, do you know what chainmail is yet?
Yeah,
Have you looked
I know
that up?
it is not. Yes, I did.
More
we
ring
were just
mail.
weird. Yeah, he said ring. Did he say ring mail?
I did say ring
I don't
mail,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, we were watching Game of Thrones the other day, and I was like, "Hey, that's chainmail." I knew what it was.
I did have a follow-up to that question. So Misty Step is a spell that I can use as a wizard to basically teleport 30 feet. So in that same situation where I'm trying to get away from an enemy or a group of enemies and not get smacked in the process, how could Misty Step play into that?
What's the casting time?
Is it a bonus action or is it an action?
One bonus action.
So it's a bonus action,
bonus
so that's great. Yeah, so I do believe that I don't think the teleportation, like if you Misty stepped away from somebody, that does not provoke an attack of opportunity. Like if you did any means of teleportation away from something, that does not provoke an attack of opportunity. I'm pretty.
So could he
positive
Misty
that's
step 30 feet away and then dash 60 feet, and then that's 90 feet away?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so that's how I could use that theory.
Now,
Yeah.
and also keep in mind, so you could Misty Step as a bonus action, then just move regularly 30 feet away, and then still have your action to cast
Right.
a
Could he
cantrip.
cast another spell? Oh, cantrip, yeah. But not another spell.
You can cast a spell
why
and a
can I
cantrip?
cast a...
So there is a restriction with spell casting, and specifically the restriction applies if you use your bonus action to cast a spell of first level or higher. Then you can only use your action to cast a cantrip.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So you can technically cast 2 spells a turn, but not 2 leveled spells.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Do you know Misty Step?
Well,
He does now.
As well as he knows Fireball.
here's the thing. Unless there's any objections, and I'm sure there's going to be rioting on Twitter, but when we leveled up most recently, I picked a spell that I haven't used yet that I think would be less useful than Misty Step, and so I'm kind of wanting to get rid of that spell that I picked and
What spell
put
is
Misty
it?
Step instead. I can't even remember what it was.
one that you haven't
It was a damage spell that I haven't used.
Have you
yet.
been telling Leland what spells you have? So, like, could you have switched it without saying anything and
He
nobody
could
would
have,
know?
yes.
Yeah,
I
he's
totally could
being
have.
so.
But I am chaotic good,
He's being so good, is what I was gonna say.
not chaotic.
We're not
evil.
talking about Falzarin. We're talking about Bill.
I am inclined to say no. You chose it. Ugh. You have been awful with picking and maintaining your spells. I don't even know if you're preparing your spells a day properly. Like, I have no idea. That's shit that I can't micromanage, right? That's up to you to know. No, I am being serious. And regardless of whether or
is.
not you're a new player, like, the DM should never be expected to know all the abilities of the
They're
other
not
players.
your babysitter.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
don't expect you to.
So no, you're stuck with that spell. If you want to take Misty Step at level 5 when you gain 2 more, should you survive that long, then absolutely. But the spells you have
Unbelievable.
picked and
At level
written
5,
down
you
in your
only
spell
gain
book, those are your
2
spells.
more.
You have lost the title of benevolent.
I never earned that title,
FYI.
buddy.
You could potentially go to Magic, and they might have a scroll there in which you could purchase and then scribe into your book and then
Yep, you could.
know it.
Absolutely.
But
then
who
you could switch
creates
that
the
one out.
magic shop that
that
has the
relies on-
scrolls? Exactly.
Yeah, what do you think the odds are
The man
of that,
who
John?
creates the scrolls.
I think Mr. Market will probably be pretty expensive as he sets the price, but I guess it all depends on how you want to bribe Leland, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have another question from Mike. This is more just to get things stirred up a little bit out here. It says,
Wait. Before we do that, I had one more comment about
go ahead.
About the battle. So the battle, it was kind of a tiered battle, right? It actually kind of had. It turned out to have like 3 different tiers, really, right? The first orcs and Julvi, and then the spider eel things came, and then finish off with the darklings. And the darklings, though, was like a last minute thing. I was not planning on having those 3 darklings involved in the fight, but I only put them in there because you guys covered the hole and made it so like you stopped them, right? And so I had them there to possibly be able to bring out in case you mopped up in the fight, which you pretty well did. And that's kind of the only reason that the darklings were there.
well, we wagon wheeled them.
Yeah, and then you wagon wheeled them, and that's probably also why I completely forgot about like they explode in a burst of light when they die, because I only did it with one of them or 2 of them.
Yeah.
The other two,
I noticed that.
the other one was a dud.
Yeah, the other one was Julvi was a dud. Dran was a dud. So that's probably why I screwed those up. But like there was a lot of different shit I had to be like. I had like 6 different books in front of me for that combat because I fucking made it way too complicated when I shouldn't have done it. But I also screwed up Bluck's spiritual weapon. I totally fucked up using that spell, and it's a really good spell. But he cast it as an action when it's casting time bonus action. And right away when you cast it, it gets an attack. So like there should have been an extra attack on Bryn, which it doesn't really.
You're talking
matter.
about the spiritual sword?
It was a spear, which I clearly said, but you guys repeatedly were calling it a sword for whatever reason. He was even wielding a physical spear that his spiritual weapon emulated, which I also said.
Well, you know what? I kept thinking it was a sword, a glowing sword.
Yeah, well, you have to listen to the things I'm describing because I will stop repeating them.
Well, sewer halflings. What else have we misnamed?
But I don't know. That's kind of an example of how, you got to change everything on the fly. Even when you have a certain number of people in a combat, shouldn't be afraid to mix up that combat as well, too. I guess, right?
There's a lot to think about when you're running everything on that side of the screen.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have had so many different enemies, too. That was just stupid.
So, let's go to the question here. It says, Leland, stop picking on Elena. This is how this starts.
Wait, who's asking this? I like them already.
Yeah, I figured you would.
This is already bullshit. This is already bullshit.
Session 14, Barn Jam. During Bryn's first attack, she rolls a nat 20. Immediately after, you remind her she's an assassin archetype, which gives her advantage when she gets the drop on her enemies. Why didn't you give her a nat 20 instead of making her re-roll the entire attack? You literally just told her she gets a second roll and have an advantage after she already rolled that. Why didn't that roll count? I roll.
I want to say something real quick. It actually worked out in her benefit because she would have only had 1 nat 20, which would have been 1 extra die roll, but only adding her modifier once. When she re-rolled, she had 2 hits, which was rolling the die roll twice, adding the modifier twice. So she actually got more damage done. More potential damage done.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, thanks. Yes, I am always right.
I don't think that's what I said there.
Yeah, that's what I heard anyway.
That's what I heard.
So the reason that I didn't take her second roll is because she went and just rolled it after I had said, "Oh yeah, the first one's a miss." Like that's not how advantage works, right? Yes, I could have been nice and be like, "Okay, great. This second D20 roll that you rolled without provocation, it was a critical hit." I could have taken. That was just a call that I made. There wasn't any specific mechanic. It was just me being, just re-roll the whole thing. So,
I remember pouting a little bit, but being like, whatever. So.
Well, I still gave you. I mean, you got 2 more additional chances to roll a critical hit, I guess, which you almost did. You said you rolled 2 17s, but yeah, that's basically why. And there's another instance in an episode coming up where Bryn also bitches that she rolls a 20 and I just disregard it.
Whatever.
So, like, don't roll the d20 unless I'm asking to roll the d20. That's basically what it boils down to. I don't need you to roll it, and I don't care what you get unless I'm going to apply your roll to something. So that's what
Was
it
it
boils
for
down
a skill check or something?
to. Yeah, I think it was a skill check. Yeah.
I think it was. I was like, I'm going to roll skill check too, and then, yeah. You didn't ask me.
I guess attack rolls are different. And yeah, I could have been nice and giving you that critical hit. But like I said, you guys are mopping up that combat anyways.
John, who's my new best friend? Who said that?
That was Mike Caldwell. He's a avid listener.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for sticking up for me.
A matter of fact, he says that he feels that you get picked on way too much.
Yeah.
Just in general.
I dish it out too, though.
I-
It's okay.
Yeah, you do.
Disagree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I'm
so.
just saying. Elena's the bully of this podcast.
I'm easy to get riled up. I'm used to siblings that like know what buttons to push, and like I'm dramatic about it.
So after the battle, I think we pretty much covered everything except maybe a little bit of Jolvi, the bard that we took out.
Had his
I
final
say we collectively.
final tour.
Yeah, he's at his final. Met his demise and didn't get to go to his last.
Actually,
his last gig.
I think you legit did collectively kill. I think all four of you had at least one hit on Jovi.
Absolutely.
Gozer popped him right away with her returning hand axe.
Yeah.
And I know Bryn shot him at least once. Did you get a stab on him, Shaft?
I believe I did.
Yeah, I think
can't
so.
recall. Just because Falzarin comes in at the end with a, don't have to roll for magic missile kind of thing. I don't know if he killed him with magic missile this
It
time.
was
No,
chromatic orb, I
he
think.
Chromatic
critically hit him with a chromatic orb. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So everybody gets lucky every once in a
I
while.
mean, a crit's pretty good.
Chromatic Orb's a good spell.
We'll give you the crit.
No, I'm sorry. Next crit, you have to reroll Falzarin. It's only fair. I did it to
Yeah.
Bryn. I did it to Bryn. Now I have to do it to all of you. I'm sorry.
Sounds fair.
Exactly.
Take Misty Step away from me. Take my crit 20s away from me.
These spider creature things. Also, Leland mentioned in combat that Jolvi was not
Not surprised.
was aware of them
yeah.
and not surprised by him. So
Yeah.
all these things are working together in some way.
I can't picture an eel-headed spider, though. I don't know.
Yeah, what were those things called?
You don't know what they're called.
Oh.
Why
Wanted to
can't you
look 'em
tell
up.
us?
I mean,
Elena, Bill, and Emily, and John.
don't make us Google.
Because I don't want you metagaming anything.
Right.
Too late.
I'm good with not knowing. So
I
then
am
we
having-
leave.
Emily, too.
We're on our way to, I believe, we decided when we left, we're on our way to Goldham, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We're
we
trying.
pretty much the episode ends, if I recall. The last one, we make it out. We have a nice long conversation about what a short rest is again, and that's where we end it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
we found out that it was lightly raining.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah, light
weather.
rain.
How could
Oh,
you,
don't
John,
even
how could
get
you forget?
The weather.
I do recall the light rain. It was misty, and I enjoy the weather updates. I do miss
too,
them a little
actually.
bit. I think they sort of went away, and I
No, if you, it feels like that because of the number of sessions we've played. But again, it's in-game days passing have not even been like a day
Right.
since. Like that's the problem.
Well, every time you can say it, you can count on me being like, thanks, that helps us so much.
It does
and
help
I'm
you.
glad
take
I
me
know.
right out of the moment. I mean, when Leland's describing the mist and the light rain, I just close my eyes and I can see it all, and then you come in and go, I don't give a shit, and it just destroys the whole role playing session for me.
Okay. Then maybe I won't.
And that's why we pick on her.
I was just gonna say, yeah. That's why Elena gets the shit end of every stick.
No, no, but mechanically that can help Bryn.
That's
if-
why
if
I
she's
did
lightly
it. That's the
obscured.
only reason I did it was for Elena's fucking benefit.
Was
And she
for me?
shits all over it. That's literally the only reason I made it.
It's about me. I don't have anything that depends on the weather.
Yeah, you do. And I
If you're lightly
explained it
obscured, it
in
can
the
help
episode.
you get a surprise or a
Lightly
sneak attack or something
obscure,
like that.
yeah. But what? The
He talked
weather's
about
gonna
it in the
obscure me?
It's raining hard enough.
If it's raining.
When
Oh,
yeah,
rain
that
counts.
can count
Goodness
as being lightly
gracious.
obscured. Absolutely, it can make it easier for you to hide. That's literally the only reason I did it. So I'm just gonna delete that weather table file I have. And no
What
more.
about John?
It's always sunny. It's always sunny in Asparadelphia.
What about John? What about John's immersion?
I don't think I can continue to play this game.
I'm sorry.
We're not gonna
The
have
immersion
another.
has been broken. It's like knowing you were living in the Matrix. It's never the same.
Oh, the steak.
Mush food now.
You're unplugged.
Which pill are you gonna take? Wait, that's the wrong part.
No. I
I'm
mean,
like, am I quoting the wrong movie? Everyone got really quiet. I'm really bad at quoting movies. Ask
I was
Bill.
trying to think which pill I was going to take.
but the scene is where he's eating the steak, and he's discussing the, what's reality and what's not. The steak tastes delicious.
Isn't it
but
bugs
It's nothing.
or something?
No, it's a computer program.
Oh. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
I never fully... Anyway. It's like Lost. You never know what really happened.
Please don't compare The Matrix to Lost. Please. It's a travesty.
Please cut all this out. I'm so bad at movie quotes. I said it. It was completely silent. Should just cut it out.
So is there anything else we want to hit on before we wrap this up? We're a little over an hour here, hour and
You want to
11
hit on
minutes.
Bryn again? Okay, I'm bracing myself.
Leyland, who do you like?
Yeah.
Tell us. We know you like someone.
I don't.
Do you have a
You
Do
can't.
you have a crush?
You can't tell anybody. No, I can't tell anybody.
Who's your crush? That was a user submitted question.
I have a cootie catcher. Pick a number.
3.
Pick a letter.
C.
Pick a color.
Blue.
Emily does not like Leland.
How did no?
I don't know.
Because when you unfold that thing, that's what everyone says.
Specifically, Emily did not like Leland.
The question was, who do you like, but say it like a 12-year-old living in the 80s at a sleepover.
They used the right hashtag.
That was from the Board Boys. Thanks, Board Boys.
BBs.
Do 12-year-olds not have sleepovers anymore?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
It's a thing of the
Haven't
80s, I
been
guess.
12 for a
I wasn't a
while.
12-year-old in the 80s, so.
Yeah, me
I
either.
was.
Me either. Okay.
John was graduating university.
There's 10 years in the 80s, right?
Right.
Yeah. I was 12 in the very early part of that.
There you go.
And, yeah, I was out at the end, yeah.
We didn't even exist.
I was 12 when John was graduating high school.
It's not that big of a gap.
No, but when you say it like that, it sounds really creepy.
I was 12 when the Spice Girls hit their peak.
Yeah.
Spice up your life.
Yeah, that's true.
And Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. Yep. Well, we're the same year, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. I used to love the Spice Girls.
I did as well.
Ooh, who's your favorite Spice Girl?
I always liked Baby Spice.
Of course
Scary.
you'd go for
Well,
the
everyone
blonde.
likes Baby
Scary
Spice.
for life.
You like Scary Spice?
Yeah.
You married a girl that looks nothing like her.
I'm not saying I liked her for her looks necessarily.
For her attitude. He likes to be... Now, you have a... What was it, Scary Spice? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably more Elena's attitude, right?
It's kind of fitting because I have a note here that says, "Don't piss off a nurse. They are scary."
They know where to
Scary-
puncture
Scary
you.
Spice. There you go.
They know how to make you bleed out. Yeah, my favorite was always Sporty Spice, but that was because I was sporty. I think at 12 I
Yes.
only wore Adidas.
I think everyone at 12 only wore Adidas.
Sambas.
It's popular in the motherland.
The motherland.
Well, that's where they came from.
Talking about.
I don't. It's not a polite joke to make. It's casually racist, as Dan Hughes would say.
Did you listen to the what is it? Stuff You Should Know episode on Adidas then? Is that what
No.
you're referencing? Oh yeah.
No, but
They go
I
into the
did.
whole the whole
Adidas.
German, yeah.
Well, no, I think it's. I thought it was Russians who really like Adidas.
You should check out the
Oh,
podcast.
the motherland.
Okay.
There's my
I will-
promotion.
I will listen to it.
Nice. Yeah, we'll end it with a promotion. Stuff you should know.
And that's
Adidas.
when our listener count went to 0. when they started to
We
listen
don't
to
have any
Stuff You Should
listeners
Know
in Russia,
instead.
do we? Not that we know of.
No, not yet, because that map is really bare in that area. All we need is one listener.
Such a
One
big,
big
land
country.
mass.
Russia.
Just light
Yeah.
that up.
Yeah, we get that lit up.
Greenland
in the
would
world.
help as well. Get some color.
Yeah, Greenland would be great.
Do you want to give us
most of the world?
The too long didn't listen about Adidas in Germany?
No, because I'll get it all screwed up. Just you can listen to it.
It's an internet joke that I've seen anyway. I don't actually know if there's any accuracy to it.
Anything else we want to plug?
We want to
directly or indirectly.
We want to plug butt paste because it can really plug you right up.
Yeah, what?
It's not what butt paste is supposed to do, though, is it?
I don't think that's what it's supposed to be.
These currently unnamed spider things in their
paste.
butt paste.
That was so dumb. 4 out of 5 of us are going to be at Origins this year.
Hey, that's true.
And I
If
feel
you're
like
at Origins, come say hi.
we need
We got
to
merch to hand out.
We have merch to hand out?
Stickers.
Yeah.
We have stickers to hand out. It's like,
Everyone who comes to
merch.
say hi gets a brand new car.
We should go get some
Or a
matchboxes.
sticker. Yeah. Well, it's got decals on the side of it with Incorrigible Party.
We'll, you know what we look like from the website, and or you're one of our friends, and that's why you listen to us.
That's the majority of people.
We'll wear our t-shirts.
All 4 days.
What else?
All 4 days, yeah.
All 4 days. So you better see us day 1, because by day 4,
I'm bringing lots of cologne.
it's going to be rough. Well, we could wear it one day. What's like the busiest day? Friday or Saturday or something?
Saturday's the busiest. Oh.
Well,
Friday
it's
might be the
jumped around.
busiest.
So we will wear our shirts either Friday or Saturday. Come get a sticker.
Yeah, I'm excited. Elena and I it'll be our first con ever. Gonna
Pop
be sweet.
in that con cherry.
Inappropriate.
Well, what is that worse than saying like we're convergents?
No.
I
think
liked it.
Yeah.
I mean,
First
when
one.
we started this whole thing, I really had to step back away from all of the foul language and crude jokes that I usually say to try to stay in line. And then I've noticed that Bryn has been pulling me back a little bit. She's setting the
Pull you
bar
down, you mean?
The bar. Okay, yeah, I guess it would be lower. The bar is going down, lower and lower, and I'm really surprised Leland's been
Quiet.
staying above board there for quite a while too.
I'm very professional.
Just piss him off, and then he'll start dropping all sorts of bombs.
Well, I think we have the explicit tag on the after party episode, so that's
Right,
a bit of
right.
a bit more of a free for all. But
Yeah, anything during the play session will get beeped, right?
Yeah.
And I think a good beep is always even funnier sometimes than the actual word.
well, let's not get carried away now, John. There's a scary Spice Barbie doll.
Yeah,
you
he's
can get.
scrolling through images of Scary Spice.
I kind of forgot what she looked like. It's been like decades.
I think we've crossed over the line where we're just shooting the shit versus people actually listening for entertainment value.
Don't even get us started on Victoria Beckham.
It's actually kind of difficult to talk about episodes that were mostly combat too, right? Like there's not really much to talk about. Some of the I think the next batch of 3 there'll be lots to talk about.
Yeah.
There's more role play going on.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episodes.
We're coming
not
up
like
on
you
some
gotta-
really exciting stuff.
Yeah, do we want to do any plugs?
That
about
dang
what's-
lantern is getting us into all sorts of trouble.
That's a fantastic lantern.
How before the next after party, are we gonna have a guest on? I forget how many we're out.
Yes.
How many
Yeah,
episodes
in
are
our
out?
next batch of 3 episodes, we'll have our first guest non-player character. So we're just currently experimenting sexually with NPC guests, and so far it's going very
Everybody
well.
seems to be enjoying it.
Yeah, everyone's
So far, no one has asked to come back.
had a good time.
We were NPC curious. And,
Yes, NPC curious.
now we're NPC cherry's been popped, as Elena would say.
Okay.
Everyone has their
Look at you started.
everyone has their safe word. Everyone knows
I'm not
their
the one that came up with that.
It's just safe.
everyone knows their boundaries.
Our safe word is kumquat.
That could be misconstrued. I don't think that's a good safe word. Bill's getting confused. Bill's getting concerned now. The look on his face is priceless.
It's okay, honey. I didn't use our safe word.
Okay. Wow.
And thanks for listening, folks.
Okay, are we ready to sign off?
Yes, I think that's a good as any place to end it. Maybe 53 minutes too long, but yeah. So stay tuned. Patrick Hillier is going to be our first NPC guest. I think he appears in it'll be session 17 and 18, I think. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
I'm Bill. I play Falzarin, the half-elf wizard, also known as Dealer of Death.
I'm Emily. I play Gozer, the half-orc barbarian, also known as the Beater of Falzarin.
I'm Shaft, played by John, and I am the only rational thinker in the entire group.
Accurate.
I'm Elena. I play Bryn, the rogue elf. And my mind really isn't that dirty. It's all show to get you guys to laugh. I'm sorry.
And I'm Leland Steele.
And I talk too much.
Thanks for listening.
See you on the next adventure. And that's our show. Our intro and outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. For your own musical inquiries, contact jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. All other music and ambient noise is courtesy of tabletopaudio.com. The Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design. Visit criticalhitdesign.com for all of your graphic design needs. You can find more info on the characters and world at incorrigibleparty.com. Enjoying the show? Have any questions or rules corrections? Email us. contact@incorrigibleparty.com or reach out on social media. The Incorrigible Party on Facebook and Instagram, @IncorrigiblePar on Twitter, using the hashtag AfterPartyIP for a shout out during our behind the screen after party episodes that drop every 4th release. Happy adventuring!
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Bill's not allowed to
Did
do
everybody
yours.
clap?
I clapped.
No,
Leland
not
did.
everyone clapped.
Leland didn't clap.
I didn't clap, but you if everyone else did, that's fine. It's only
we
one.
can clap again.
Let's do it again.
No, matching one up isn't a big deal.
We can clap.
3.
It takes 2 seconds.
Wait,
2.
I know that, but
1.
like Bill, we've never counted from one up before. I didn't know what number you were going
I'm
to
just
stop
trying to
on.
keep you guys on your toes.
Oh, I thought you were counting
At this
down.
point, it is a good point. It could be infinity. Virtually, yeah.
I should
You
just kept
counted
counting.
up? What kind of sicko are you?
Wait! You were there!
I know, I didn't even notice.
Wait a second.
1, 2, 3, clap. It's pretty simple, people.
All right.